Happy evening, everyone. Hope you all are doing fine. I know we are meeting after 2 weeks, nearly 3 weeks due to Diwali holiday and so many other stuff, COVID. Um, so hope all are doing fine. And I'm very glad to meet everyone today. Today we are meeting our very special guest, Mr. Gireesh Gopal. Gireesh, I know him through another friend of mine. He is a happiness coach and he is running his own institute, which is called Indian Institute of Happiness. And he also does counseling for parents, for business people, for CEOs and children and all. He's into so many things, activities. Um, in fact, he did a fingerprint reading for me, and there were so many things which he told, which was absolutely correct. Like it was like introducing myself back to me. So many things which I had forgotten in my life. Also, like so many characters of mine. He introduced me, so which was very interesting. So I don't want to take much time. So straight away, let's learn and hear more from Gireesh. And thank you, Gireesh, for accommodating, giving your time within this short span. And also, I would like to thank Shubha, as usual, to do the session. What's up with Shubha? So over to you, Shubha.
Thank you so much, Purnima. And hi, Gireesh. It gives me an immense pleasure to welcome you for our today's guest for our series of casual chat about some personal stories and learnings, that has either led you to a great success or the learning that you have taken from there, which has taught you abundance in all walks of life. Thanks for your valuable time amidst your busy schedule. Welcome. Hi friends, very warm good evening. It gives me real pleasure to introduce Mr. Gireesh Gopal, who is the founder of an institute called Happiness Tools and Indian Institute of Happiness. And the main motto of this tool is to give a holistic view of mind, body, and soul. So if you actually look at it, it will tell you as though you're looking at the meaning of holistic yoga, right? So, and it's also to ensure to give as much happiness as possible to all his clients, just as what Purnima had explained a few minutes back. Hi, Gireesh. So, Gireesh, in today's world, we hardly find people happy. And by the way, this happiness is as per my perspective. What I mean to say is we don't even see people smiling generously. So, the people don't even talk to others as quickly as they're supposed to, right? So to start with, can you tell us quickly, probably in less than 5 minutes, what inspired you to start this company, especially which is around happiness, which is Happiness Tools and Indian Institute of Happiness? The word happiness is what is haunting there. Over to you, Gireesh.
This journey on happiness quite a few years back, around 12 years back, while I used to conduct various seminars in various corporates. And I used to ask people what makes you happy. So the journey of finding happiness started many years back when I was a kid as well. I used to be into social work and various other activities as well, as a school student and a college student as well. And later on, when I got into the journey of life, I realized one very, very important thing, that everybody's objective of life is to be happy. Right? However, majority of the people don't know. So how did I understand this? So as a trainer, we have activities, right? When you're having a one-day seminar, we normally have activities. So one of the activities that I used to conduct was asking people to write down what makes you happy. So before which I asked, so what is your biggest objective in life? If I ask you the same question, you'll say, yes, I want to be happy. Or I want to be CEO, or I want to get married. Okay, right. We'll debate about that later on. Right? Right? So people have various objectives, right? Now these objectives usually are to be happy, but not connected to happiness, because they don't know what makes them happy. So I used to ask people write down what makes you happy. And this is actually a 15 minutes activity. But however, people take around half an hour to write down 10 points that makes them happy. To the
Okay.
extent,
Okay. Okay.
some people used to ask the others, hey Baba, what did you write? Hey, Baba, it is,
Okay.
huh. Interesting. So it's like phone a friend. Okay, what makes you happy kind of stuff. You are unique. You are
Right.
different. Your
Right.
happiness cannot be somebody else's happiness or may not be. It might overlap, not truly. Correct? So
Correct.
then
Right.
I about this. I said everybody wants to, but they don't know exactly what makes them happy. Then I started my research on this subject. So
Okay.
I went to gurus. I
Okay.
went to priests. I went to some really senior people who did not have hair. At that time, I had hair.
Okay.
And I asked them, please, can you tell me what is happiness? How to find happiness? So people said, okay, look into yourself, understand yourself, and you'll find happiness. I said, wow.
Right.
I mean, there are rishis and munis who went into the forest and did penance for years together.
Yes. Right. Right. Yeah.
They did not find what is the meaning, right? So,
Right.
I mean, everybody talks about it, but people didn't know. So I said, yes, that is, I don't know. That is why I came to you. If I knew how to go inside my
It got stuck. Wait, wait.
Yes. I thought it's just for me.
body
Yeah.
and understand the, then I started my research around 12 to 13 years back. I actually befriended people on Facebook who had a nice smile. Okay. And I asked them, what makes you happy? And someone said,
You missed
what's your
me,
problem?
Giri. You missed me, Girish.
Yes, I know. I should Google you on Facebook and maybe ask you. Right?
Yeah.
Majority of them said, yes, I am happy. What's your problem? Why are you asking me? Because nobody's ever asked you this question. What makes you happy?
Right.
Neither did the school
Right.
teacher ask you. Neither do the parents ask you. Neither does your husband or wife ask you, or nobody asks you. Or when you're hiring a person in the company, you have an interview. You ask them what they have studied. You never
Correct.
ask them what makes them happy, right?
Right.
So it is a question which comes on the face and say, oops, what a question. I mean, kind of stuff. So then I started doing research and I found out that we are all unique.
Right. Right.
The uniqueness is very, very important to make yourself happy.
Right.
However, the fact is that you can never be happy.
Correct. Correct.
When I'm saying happiness can be a percentage is what I meant, right? You can achieve some percentage of happiness and our expectation is to become 100% happy. That is where
Right.
depression comes in, right?
Right.
When
Right.
people read books on positive affirmations and positivity, I am writing a chapter in my book saying positive affirmations and positivity can lead to deep depression.
Okay.
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 I will tell you why. Because when you are expecting 100% happiness and you don't achieve it, you have a depression,
Right.
right? And
Right.
where I started doing research and I found out various aspects that the environment plays a very, very important role in your happiness as well,
Right.
right? So that is out of my research I found out. But no books say that you can be happy. My book says you cannot be happy unless and until you have other tools that you use, like the environment. Like I am now sitting in a doctor's cabin. I've come to meet a doctor.
Oh. Okay.
Not for any medical help, but I also use have
Yes.
a which can cure people of diabetes, blood pressure, cholesterol, thyroid problems naturally, right? Because
Okay.
I believe natural healing is very important. So that it's a tool, right? If you use the right tool
Right.
along with yourself, then can you achieve a state where you can achieve say 80% happiness. If those tools, those environments are not available, it is practically impossible for you to
Impossible.
become really happy to a higher percentage. So yeah,
Right.
that's how I started my journey on this. Yeah.
That's how, okay. And Gireesh, you just mentioned about a book, right? And you know what's more thrilling for me is what I say, the title of the book, right? Which starts saying happiness to true happiness and the journey for abundance. So the word true happiness is actually enchanting, right? It's actually pulling me at least, so I'm more curious to know what is in it in the book for me. What is in it for me in the book actually?
Okay. So what happens is everybody is happy. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Ask anybody, are you happy? They say, yes, I am happy. Okay. That's what they say on the face. Okay. But internally, it might be a different thing. Now, everybody is unique, as I told you, and they have a particular design. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
But your parents, your teachers, corporate leaders tell you that you have to accept things and be happy.
Yep.
Now that means you're reprogramming your brain, neuro-linguistic programming. Okay. So when you reprogram your brain, your pain can become a pleasure.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So what happens? You had a pain, but you accepted the pain, and now that pain has become pleasure.
Pleasure.
That means
Okay.
you are a actual original version. Now you have created a version 1 of yourself with a new program inside it. We are just like a computer.
Right.
Afterwards, a new environment comes in. You start accepting that environment and you become version 2, version 3, version 4, version 5, version 6. But you
Right.
have forgotten your true version, which
Right.
is
Okay. Yeah.
right?
So it's most like the source code, right? The version control of a source code.
Absolutely. So there are people now at version 10, okay, and they are happy, but they don't know what true happiness is, what is their true
Happiness.
version. When they
Right.
identify and connect with the true version, they find bliss in their life. So that is
Right.
why I have coined the name of the book saying happiness to true happiness.
True
Finding
happiness. Okay.
what is most important and not being happy.
Right.
Because when you are
Okay.
happy, you are controlling a lot of your feelings and emotions and likes and dislikes and stuff like that, which
Yeah.
will after time come up, and then you will boom and burst and say, you
Right.
know what, I don't know what's happening in my life.
Correct. Correct. So Gireesh, just to ask a question, right? When you're born, maybe that is version whatever, right? But then
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that is version 0, or should we say that, probably after a child is 3 years, will that be version 0? But then
Right.
in between that 1 to 3 years itself, right? We are all conditioned, maybe parents, grandparents, our surroundings, our environment. So I'm not sure if we lose our originality right there itself, right?
Yes, absolutely right. So that is why there is a chapter in my book which also says that the people who are closest to you can be your enemies.
Okay. Okay.
Your parent, your mom and dad could be your enemy number 1.
Okay.
Your
Okay. Surprising.
your teachers, the biggest enemies. Okay,
That
because
can be true.
yeah, right. Hope you never was a teacher in your life, right?
Yeah.
What happens is you're perfectly right. We are all conditioning and changing the program in the brain
Right.
of a person,
Right.
right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
forgetting the originality. That is where the programming and conditioning starts from the beginning.
Right. Right.
So programming and conditioning should happen based on your true version. You should
True
enhance
version.
your true and not
Right.
your redesigned version.
Conditioned version. Right. Correct. Right.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. So actually, my boy is sitting somewhere close by. I'm sure he would hear this and he would vouch saying my mother is my first enemy.
That is, a few of my friends have told me that when I'm publishing the book, don't be in India because parents will come to your house and beat the crap out of you. It's a fact.
Don't worry. I'm waiting
Fact.
for it to get released. Maybe I'll probably be one of the first buyers of your book. So when are you targeting to get it published, Gireesh?
Maybe in 6 months to 12 months. I have written this is the third time I'm writing the book. I wrote it once. I was
Okay.
not happy. I wrote it a second time. I lost the data. And this is the
Okay.
third time I'm rewriting it. Yeah.
Okay. I'm waiting for it.
I will make sure you will get the first few copies.
Thank you. Very privileged.
Yeah, Gireesh, you also mentioned about, you lost your dad in a young age, and when
Yes.
people asked you something about it, you said, so that part,
See, I'm a very fortunate guy. My dad expired when I was in school. Why do I? And in fact, I had a seminar with around 700 people, and on stage I said, I thank God that he expired when I was a kid. Because I was exposed to the raw life. Nobody conditioned me, right? Nobody said you can't do this and you should not do this and that. I did what I felt like doing, and I matured as a person at a very young age. In fact, majority of my friends has been people who are much elder to me, and I would have a conversation with them at a very mature level because I was exposed to raw realities of life at a very very young age, right? Which helped me
Right.
understand true self and what I like, thing that I did not love in my life. So everything that happens for a reason, and when you accept that reason in the true sense, you find bliss,
Right.
right?
So
true.
it's more like a blessing in disguise, right?
Maybe God wanted me to be a happiness coach and a person who's doing research on
Maybe.
happiness after that,
Maybe.
because the kind of things that I have seen in my life, when people tell me about their problems, I say, really? Do you know
Is this
what
a
people?
problem? Yeah. Right.
I have sold idlis when I was in school. I would actually take tuitions in the morning and then go to school. I have sold vada pav. I have done everything. Right?
Okay.
I
And
got the do it. I mean, thank God that my dad was not there to support me. So I got these opportunities which are priceless. I mean, absolutely priceless.
right. And probably, Girish, that is what has made you a people person, right? When you're coaching or counseling people, right? So people are assets. So probably
Yes.
that's what has taken you towards this journey. Very good. But then again, when you told about, leading your life and maturing in a young age, it sounds like blessing in disguise.
Absolutely.
Maybe, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. You should have positive thinking along with your own design. Only then can you achieve the true happiness factor of it.
Correct. Correct.
So what I was talking about at that time was
Hmm.
happiness. When we say happiness, now for you might be your children. You say, I mean, that's the first thing that people come up with. My happiness is my children. My happiness is my parents, right? Uh, when people tell me that, I say bullshit. Okay,
Correct.
because if happiness, then all the parents would love their children, the children will love their parents. But statistics says that children say that I have committed suicide, I am into depression because of my parents, and parents say that I am into stress because of my children. If happiness was there, then these kind of conversations would not be there. Correct? So it
Correct.
is not a person, it is not the parents or the children that we love. It is some activity or environment that they provide us that we love or that makes us happy,
Correct.
right?
And it's actually that moment, right? And it's a peer pressure.
Absolutely, right? And what the tools that we are using today with our children or is outdated tools,
Correct.
right? The systems, when I say tools, I'm talking of conversation is a tool. Okay, the method of understanding things is a tool. Everything is a tool. Because a
Right.
software is a tool, right? In your computer, if you're installing a software, what is it? It's a tool. Correct.
Tool.
So,
Correct.
right, so that's why the company name is Happiness Tools, right? So what happens is we are using outdated tools to make change or bring happiness in today's era. It is
Modern
like,
children.
yeah, it is like using a horse if you want to go from Bangalore to Chennai instead of taking a car or a flight.
Correct. Correct.
How do we do? Do we use horses? We don't use horses. We take a flight or a car, right? And the flight is the best. To reach faster and blah blah blah. Correct? So you have to use the latest tools. So the software has to be changed. Now, when you are achieving true happiness, the software has to be understood with the latest version of the software.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
Right. Right.
Yes. Yes.
Outdated software will not sync in with the latest softwares, right? So that is why I am also writing in my book that happiness can never be 100%. You will not get true happiness 100% from your children. Let me give it this in writing.
Right.
Neither will the children get true happiness from their parents 100% not happy. Okay?
Correct.
But is there, no?
Right,
Oh,
right.
I sacrifice my youth for my child. Who told you? Is what the children ask nowadays. Correct? Did I tell you to
Perfectly right. Perfectly right.
you did it? You wanted to do it. I don't know whatever you did on a rainy night or a cold night, but that is what you did, right? I did not just hop in from somewhere. Correct? So,
Correct.
but however, around 50 years back, it was a different thought process, right?
Correct.
We
Correct.
were, we were thankful for our parents to doing whatever they did, right? And taking care of us, right? Now, what happens is in this information age, the
Exactly.
the software is majority virally affected.
Yeah.
50 years back, okay, taking care of children was very easy. You know why? There was no TV, there was no
Yeah,
internet,
correct. The
correct?
source of information was very less, right?
Very less.
Yes.
Absolutely right. So the software in the brain was not that adulterated
Correct. Correct.
because external software was not there. The
Right.
software that will go into the brain is only the software that the parents put and the school puts. That's it.
Yeah.
But now additional software is there, which is where handling the software has become difficult for the children nowadays and even for the parents.
Parents. Correct. Correct. Absolutely.
Technology has been good, but it has impacted true happiness.
Right. Right.
So there are a lot of solutions for, I mean, which will take a day, 2 day for me to explain to you guys. So I'm just like giving you a perspective of why true happiness or why 100% happiness is not achievable. If you're looking for it, there's only one place where you'll get it, 6 feet.
Heaven or hell, right?
Yes.
Either in heaven or hell.
Correct. Absolutely right. Living
Yeah.
there, you
And
have
no
to
one has
accept.
seen it. No
Yes,
one.
nobody.
Yeah, that's also right.
Yeah.
Correct.
Correct. Yeah.
So first, a parent should accept that their children will make them unhappy, and we should tell the children also. See, I'm not God. I am your mom or dad, right? I'm your dad.
Right. Right.
I can make
Right.
mistake, and you will be unhappy. Okay. Once they know that, then they accept it. Then life is different.
Right. Right.
Gireesh, before I move, right, you touched a very beautiful point about children. And I know that you're a very good parent and child counselor as well. And here in our group, right, when I say group, it is the Abundance Family which Purnima had created. Almost all of us are parents. I'm a parent of two boys and I think almost all of them have teenage kids. So maybe you can just share some experiences of what you have seen when you were, I know all problems are different. Having said that, there would definitely be some commonality, right? All of us are conditioned somewhere on parenting skills. So I'm sure there'll be commonality. So maybe you can just share some thoughts on parenting, counseling, child, whatever, right? Child growth.
Right. That is a one-day program, by the way. Now you
Okay,
want me you want me to answer the question in 2 minutes.
No, you can take 5 minutes, Gireesh. I will not interrupt you there, okay?
Okay. See, what happens is when there are two different individuals, okay, we know there are two different individuals, right? That means they are both two different unique people who are unique maybe in 50 different ways.
Right.
Okay. So the first thing a parent or a child has to understand, so when anybody comes to me for counseling, okay, for happiness counseling, I tell them, I can never guarantee you 100% happiness. If you're looking for 100% happiness, please leave. I don't want your money. Okay. Because why? Expectation is what leads to unhappiness.
Unhappiness, right? Perfect.
I know people who have got 95% marks in their board exams, and committed suicide. I know people who have got 60% marks and had a party because they are expecting only
doing
40.
very well in their life. Correct.
Yeah, that is a different thing. I'm just saying that that particular moment of time, because happiness is momentary. Correct? The same board exam, one guy throws a party because of getting 60% marks and one guy commits suicide because of getting 95% marks. Expectation was different. Correct? He was expecting 100% marks. This person was expecting 40% marks.
40%,
So first thing that parents and children have to do is expectation of 100% happiness or being a parent has to be given off first. Right? That expectation should not be there. Right? Because we have an expectation, right? Which is 100%. My child should be like this. They should be treat us like this, like that. Right? Once that expectation is gone, by default your happiness increases. And that is never 100%. So if you are at 80%, super. If you are at 50%, manageable. If it is less than 50%, then there are different strategies. Right? Now, for example, I am sitting here in the balcony. Okay? You can see the surroundings. Right? It's beautiful.
Yeah,
right?
Beautiful.
I have a choice. Yeah? I have a choice of sitting inside. Okay? I have a very nice house, right? A very nice couch. I have an AC room as well. I could be sitting inside the AC room as well, right? But everywhere you sit, there is an impact on you. Please understand. Now, you just introduced me by saying I work on the mind, body and soul.
Body and soul, right.
No, I work on the fourth dimension, which is called environment.
Okay.
Which nobody tells you about. So if I'm sitting here, my happiness is different. If I go inside, it will change. It is never going to be the same. Please understand. It will either increase or it will reduce. Correct? If I sit inside the AC room, again it will either increase or it will reduce. So happiness is a percentage. Depending upon where you are sitting, your happiness will change. Okay? So for example, when we are having a chat with our maybe wife or child, see, relationship is the same everywhere. It's not only children.
Everywhere. Perfect.
What we tell, baby, come inside, I want to talk to you. Now my baby tells me to come inside. Okay, my happiness is just lowered. Because I like openness. I like to be a free bird flying on, right? I like open areas. So if I'm sitting in the balcony and talk, if somebody tells me, come, let's go for a walk and talk, or let's sit in the balcony and talk, I will listen better. When happiness is high, your listening skill increases. Your skill of understanding increases. If I sit inside the room, my understanding is less. When my understanding is less, my reaction will be different.
Correct.
Right? So, people have not understood this. Privacy and secrecy of conversation can lead to unhappiness. You understood what I'm trying to tell you? So, people have never understood the dimension of environment. Mind, they say it is your mind you can control. What? Baba? I don't know who taught this in school. Huh? You are sitting, your mind is beautiful. Right? Your boss comes in front of you. What happens? There will be change, na? It can never be constant.
Definitely.
What does your guru tell you? Your mind you can control. Okay. Not happening. Right? It is ideal situation. Ideal situation does not exist in this world.
Never there. Correct. It never exists.
Correct. So I tell people, okay, let us say you have a relationship problem. You want to be in the same environment. You want to be in the same company. Please try and avoid your boss. As far as possible, do your work. You should do some planning. Okay, he is coming from there, you go from here. Right? Because he is environment. He is an external factor which will 100% impact you. Right?
Correct.
That is why people should change their houses if they are in an environment of unhappiness.
True. Yeah.
Because you go into the same environment, that environment is going to impact you,
Yeah, it's going to suck you inside. Correct.
right? Because your memory cannot be erased. You go to the same place, that memory suddenly comes to you, right? It's like a song. Let us say you like a song, and when you listen to the song, you'd usually party, right? Now, while listening to that song, somebody called you and gave you a sad news. Even after 10 years, if you listen to that song, you will remember that sad
Remember
news,
that news. Right. Right.
correct? And suddenly your happiness will drop down. So that song should be eliminated from your playlist totally. You get my point? We cannot erase
Got it.
memories.
Yeah.
We can only change environments.
Yeah.
But we are asked to erase memory. You can't do it. You cannot do it. See, we increase the expectation of people, right? Like when I started my journey of happiness, I went and asked some Babas, Baba, please tell me, how can I be happy? They all told me, Beta, it is in you only. You can find out. I said, Baba, if I can find out, why did I come to you?
Why did I come to you? Right. Yeah.
Huh? The rishis went into the Himalayas, sat for years together. They could not do it, right? And you are expecting the people of this world to do it. Not happening. These are all old strategies trying to be implemented in the new era. See, the strategies at our age, like you said, you have a teenage kid, I have a teenage kid. What strategies our parents use, we cannot use.
We cannot use. Perfectly right. Perfectly right, Gireesh. Never works.
But we are learning what our parents taught us, and that was taught to them by whom? Their parents.
Their parents, yeah.
So we are using strategies which is 200 years old, and we are expecting results. No, in this era, you can't do it, right? See, life in terms of happiness has been the same strategy, but we don't use a horse to go from one place to the other.
Other.
We use a car.
Correct.
You should use a horse, no, ideally. Old strategy. Correct.
Yeah.
So in life, we are using mobile phones, we use TV, we use Wi-Fi, yeah. But when it comes to your happiness, you say, you know what, my grandfather told me this and that is what I want to do. Not happening, right? So whatever has been taught to you guys, so my book is very controversial.
Okay. Okay.
Very, so I'm telling people the truth. You cannot be happy. The book on happiness says that you cannot be happy 100%. Okay, that is the first truth, right? Because all the books I have read or heard about or what people say is you can achieve whatever you want. I say you cannot achieve whatever you want. First, that is the fact of life. Let me ask you, Shubha, have you ever achieved whatever you really desired in the same percentages?
No, not at
Never.
all. Not in the same
Never.
percentage. But
it can be higher or it can be lower. It can never be the same.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes it has never happened during that time, it's taken its own due course even to achieve.
Absolutely. But what do you tell your children? You can do it. I also tell my daughter, you can do it. But I also tell her, if you don't do it, it's okay. Chill, relax.
Right.
We don't do that. See, there's an expectation set with our children. When you say you can do it, your child says, yes, I can do it. And when she cannot do it, she goes into depression or he goes into depression.
Correct.
And then they start using drugs to withstand that depression. Because they cannot come and tell you, dad or mom, I failed. Please ask the people in this group, how many of their children have come and told their parents that they have failed in their life? They don't. You know why? Because they love you so much, they don't want to break your heart. They suffer. And to handle that suffering, then they get into different kinds of substance abuse and stuff like that. So it's like, it's a 2-day program, no 5-day program.
No, I totally understand. Just because
you understand what I'm trying to tell you. Yeah?
Yes.
So whatever I'm trying to tell you, you'll never get to read in any books.
Correct.
Because books, I mean, first of all those self-help books, if people have in their shelves, I would ask them to shelf it.
I think I should do that first, Gireesh.
See, take 50% from that. 100% if you take, you will be unhappy more. Right? It is like...
Yeah, because you'll not be able to achieve that, right? You're right.
It's not possible. Correct?
Correct.
You get onto the road, when you buy a car, the manual will say that you will get 40 kilometers per liter. Which car is given 40 kilometers? Never. Why?
Never.
Because when you get on the road, there is speed breakers, there is potholes, there is other people. You will brake suddenly. The average, they will say, if you brake, average will fall. Without braking, where can you drive the car?
Right.
Huh? Tell me.
Not even on a highway, actually.
Right. So that is life. But these dimensions of life are not told to people. Right? They're not taught. So when my daughter goes out, I should tell you one thing what happened in school with my daughter. So a boy pushed her. Okay. So she came home, she was crying. And I came a little later, I found her a little unhappy. I asked her what happened. She said, no, this boy pushed me and I'm sad. I said, what did you do? Did you do anything wrong?
Right.
She said, no, Dad, I did not do anything wrong. He's a naughty boy. Okay. He pushed you. Then you knew you didn't do anything wrong. What did you do? Back. Did you push him back? She said, Dad, I actually didn't. Did you go and tell the teacher? I said, no, I actually didn't. I said, why? It is your life. You take action. If he pushed you and you were right and there's nothing wrong, you should have either told the teacher or you should have slapped him. Dad, I could have slapped him, no? Yeah. Actually I thought about it, but I thought if I slap him, you will be unhappy. Yeah.
Right.
So I told her, I am your dad. You do whatever you want in your life. I am behind you. You may sometimes do the wrong thing also. I will not be upset because you're a human being. Right? You have the right to do wrong things because that is how you will learn.
Correct.
And it's better that our children do wrong things when they're a child rather than when they grow up.
Perfectly right.
Because when they grow up, I mean, we cannot make a mistake now at this age, right? I mean, because if we make a mistake, there's so many other people who are
the consequences
connected to us.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what a person has to understand. But how many books tell you this? They don't. So that is why I have been writing this book for more than 3 years now.
It's wonderful actually here in Gireesh. I think I should ask Purnima to organize a session of one day of yours, for all of us actually. It's really
Why
really
not?
wonderful to
It's
hear.
my pleasure. Yeah.
Something like, a very close friend telling you, hey, aapke liye kaam nahi karega, ye karega karke na. So it's like you're able to relate so easily. So Gireesh, I was just going through your, profile and through various medium, and I found something very interesting. Okay, like when I saw your achievements, which are actually come out in Gulf Madhyamam, which talks about Boss's Day Out. I watched this Baby Day Out and stuff, right? So this Boss's Day Out are very captivating, and also it talks about redefining the leadership mantras. Okay. So maybe you can just tell us something about that.
Right. So Gulf Madhyamam is one of the largest selling newspapers in the Middle East.
Correct.
It's a Malayalam newspaper. Yeah.
Correct.
So they were having a huge event. It's a very big event. So it was like a 3-day event where I think around more than 15 lakh people or something came because there were like stalls and there were events like training events happening. So they had invited over 300 business owners or CEOs and CXOs. So that was the criteria so they had to be a boss. So they had invited them for a 1-day training program on redefining and understanding stuff. So they invited me to talk on the happiness of it. So only 4 speakers, they had selected 4 speakers from all around the world. I was one of them. So there's 2 sessions before lunch and 2 sessions after lunch. So So I had enough time to make them understand that happiness is the most important thing now if you want to increase productivity, right? Those age-old fundas of having the pass, especially in the Middle East, they have the passports, so people don't leave their jobs, right? People don't leave jobs doesn't mean it increases productivity, right?
Correct. It increases depression probably, right?
Increases depression. And see what happens. Life is all about energy. If you have one depressed person in an organization in a say 10 meter or 20-meter radius, that depression is going to radiate, right? I mean, you can instantly find out.
Absolutely.
When I go somewhere and I see that there's some place where the energy is low, I try to leave that place because subconsciously it says, you know what, your energy is draining out. Now people don't understand these fundas of work areas, right? They say, okay, KRAs and KPIs. This is your
Correct.
job and this is what you have to do.
Correct.
Correct, right? HR, right? I done my HR from Symbiosis, so I had to. There were questions. What is KPIs? What are KRAs and stuff like that, right? But
I feel that every year.
you fill that every year. Very good,
And,
right?
and I review for a couple of people also. So
Yes. So I was on a talk just 2 weeks back where I told people there has to be HPIs, happiness performance indicators
happiness.
also, right? I mean, see, you are living in a world where you understand there is energy, but to increase productivity, no boss has ever thought about that. It is not about working, it is how you work that increases the productivity of the organization, increases the quality of the product, right?
Right.
Increase the lifestyle. People do training programs on balancing work life and personal life.
Personal life, work-life balance.
Correct?
Yeah. Common
Work-life balance.
tagline. Correct.
Tell me, you are putting different brains or what when you're going to the office? Same brain, same memory, same computer. You cannot differentiate, right?
Correct.
It's the same. When you're in your office, you are at home, and when you're at home, you're in the office. It's the same thing. It's the same you, right? You cannot differentiate. So you have to create an energy which will increase the quality of your product and hence increase your productivity. So that is what I try to tell people and changing the dimensions of understanding workforce and their happiness, right? When a person walks into the office, how is he walking in? Is he saying that, you know what, I want to go to work today? Or is he saying, oh, I have to go to work
Have
today,
to.
right?
I totally
I had to
understand.
say that same boss who's a dash, 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 bad words, right? But I have to go because money, right? But, I mean, you can change that in a jiffy by using very inexpensive methods. These methods are doesn't cost at all because there are no tools, right? It is just by creating an environment, right? Which is very,
Environment.
very cheap. So that's where the environment again comes in. So I tell people your environment is very important. If you also have your environment in your favor, your happiness is optimum. Optimum means 80%, not 100%.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
100% mark doesn't happen here, right? Yeah.
Totally agree. Yeah. And there's
So
nobody
that
to
is
judge you other than yourselves, right? My happiness totally is mine and it depends on me. So there's
yes,
absolutely nobody to
yes,
judge.
correct. So a few corporates are now getting into it, but they're
Right.
doing only again 20% or 30% of what has to be done, right?
Yeah. You
If
touched
anything
the
has
right
to be
point.
done, it has to be more, right? So
Right.
there are some companies, I would not like to name them, but when you go to the office in the morning, you have to dance. Arey Baba, there's somebody who doesn't like to dance also there, no, in your company.
Yeah. Right.
Then dancing can be stress. See, dancing is not a stress buster for everybody. Like meditation is not a stress buster for everybody. I can't, if I sit in one place and meditate, my stress will increase. Because I am not a kind of, see now while talking also you see my hands going everywhere, correct?
Right.
I am more of a kinesthetic person. I cannot sit in one place. right? So meditation can be stress for me, right? For me, it could be a workout or gardening or something like that is uh, awesome, right? So when a call comes for me, right, I'll be sitting on the sofa watching TV or whatever. A call comes, I pick up the call and I'm walking up and down.
Down,
And my
right,
wife tells
right.
me, when the phone comes, why do you start walking? You should sit in one place and talk. No, I can't do it.
That's not,
My
yeah, that's not you.
my performance reduces when
It
I'm
goes
sitting and
down.
talking. Yes. Right? So now there are so many simple things that can be implemented in an organization. It's so different. Like for a person like me, if I am in computer software programming, I'll be depressed, but I will work for the money.
Right, I
So
agree.
there'll be errors in the program. Correct. If I work in the
Correct.
accounts department, God bless the company. I mean, I should be in sales, training, right? Because I like to keep walking around. I
Right.
can't sit in one place, right? Now, these strategies, if they implement in an organization, I can guarantee every single organization productivity will increase because people start working on their heart.
Correct, correct. And I also see, you just mentioned some organizations, right? I also saw your name, probably you're training with Fortune 500 companies. I saw the name in one of the leading Fortune 500 companies, actually, Gireesh. So, and that's more to towards IT. Okay, so maybe I'll just touch this portion of it as well. So, you have worked with many IT guys, right? Because I'm just
Right.
telling about a Fortune
Sure.
500 company. So, do you see that the so-called happiness is drastically low in the environment?
I didn't get your. Can you repeat?
Yeah, do you see that, do you feel that the happiness is drastically low in the so-called IT environment?
It's low everywhere.
Okay, okay,
Okay.
irrespective of the
It's low
environment. Okay,
everywhere. Everywhere. Not
okay,
only
okay.
IT companies, right? Because see, a work environment is defined. You have to sit in one place. You cannot talk to
Right,
anybody.
right,
4 hours you have to do your work. That doesn't work, right? Like children when they are studying also, right? There's a study environment, right? You go into your study room. You have to be silent. You have to study for 3 hours. There's some rules and regulations set. How can you have a rule? The rule that is applied for you are unique.
correct,
So the rule
correct,
applied for you cannot be applied for Purnima because she is also unique.
correct, correct,
Correct?
correct. Perfectly right.
So there has to be guidelines in organizations. So there's stress everywhere. Why? Because there are rules, right? So
Perfectly
I'll
right.
give an
Yes.
example, right? I started my career. I'm one of the pioneers in the media industry in India. I started my first job in a media company, right? Now a media company is a place where you have to finish your work. Okay, you're walking around, moving around, you're talking to people, etc. Right? And work is like, see, in a media company, the deadline is a deadline. If a program has to go on air at, let us say, 12 o'clock, it goes on air at 12 o'clock sharp every single day.
Sharp. Right.
You never see an announcement saying, you know what, our marketing head, Mr. Gireesh, was little sick today, so the program will go on air at 12:30. It doesn't happen. Correct? See, in every other industry, you can change deadlines,
Correct.
like in an
Right.
IT
Right.
company. Oh,
Right.
this happened, so deadline gone. COVID or no COVID, the program came on time, on air. Yes.
Right.
So that is the kind of environment where I worked. So I was just telling you the story. So we would work till 2 o'clock in the night, party till 4 o'clock in the morning, go and sleep,
Okay. Okay.
come back to work at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. So we had this new manager who was appointed. He was, I think, major or somebody from the army, retired. Correct? Very
Okay.
tall, smart guy. So he came from some military rules and regulation system. So the rules and regulation, the appointment letter said that working hours is from 10 to 6.
Okay.
Right? I have never gone to the office at 10 o'clock. I mean, majority of us have not gone to the office at 10
Never
o'clock.
got. Right.
Right?
Right.
So he would come and stand at 10 o'clock. That desk and they have registers. There's no punching machine. So at 10 o'clock, the register will go inside. No signature. We don't bother. No register. We will go and start working.
Right,
Right?
right. Yeah.
After around 10 days, he sent a memo. Why disciplinary action should not be taken against you guys because you guys never come on time. Okay. He leaves at 6 o'clock. He doesn't know till what time we are because there's no punching again, right?
Right, right.
So we told our boss. Boss said, managing director has called him. He's army guy. I am not going to speak to him. You guys please come on time.
Okay.
So next day we came on time and we left on time.
On time, right.
Correct. 6 o'clock we left. 3 days we left at that time. Work was not finishing. The boss said, what are you not working? Right? You have to finish your work. I said, boss, if we are in office at 2 o'clock, how can we come in the morning at 10 o'clock? Not possible, right? By the time we reach home, it is 4 o'clock, right? We have to leave back. It's not happening. So we had a meeting and stuff like that. It was what to do. So this guy was so frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
The new admin HR guy. The next month he put his papers and he left. He said, boss, I cannot work in this environment.
Okay.
Because he was so used to the rules and regulations of like things happening, people saluting for him. So our brain is conditioned in a particular way, right? So when you go to work in an IT company, your brain gets conditioned in a particular way, and then life becomes very difficult. And we are not born to be conditioned.
Perfectly right.
We are conditioned from our childhood.
Correct.
From school we are conditioned, right? This and this and this and that stuff like that. So we have to uncondition people if they want to achieve happiness. So unhappiness not in IT companies, manufacturing companies. So some of my friends used to come. They used to work for Siemens. I had some friends who used to work for Siemens. So on a Saturday they'll come. We are working every day. So Saturday they'll come to my office. Okay. And they said, dude, you never work. Because they had a rule, right? You enter the office, you are in your workstation for X number of hours, you have a break for 1 hour, you have to be coming back because the siren is rung, and then you have to come back at that particular time, otherwise you have a problem, right? We are going out anytime, we go to the office at 12 o'clock, after that at 1 o'clock we go for lunch, we come back at 3 o'clock, no issues as long as the job is happening.
Job is done.
Right?
Correct.
So in a media company, there is no systems. Some people like that. Some people don't like that. Right? In an IT company, there are systems. But in every place, different people are unhappy. Right? In a media company, a major general is unhappy. And some friends used to say, wow, you're such a lucky guy, you don't work. Because there's nobody jumping on your head as long as the job is done. You are standing outside in the garden and doing the work, they don't bother.
Correct.
So that is how it is. Yeah.
So Gireesh, thank you. Thank you so much for bringing out a lot of these salient features. And you rightly said, everybody is unique. I think I saw one of your report also where you very clearly said, har bacha unique hai. Okay. So all of us, we are also bachas, right? So all of us are unique. So before we close, some more information to know about you, Gireesh. So maybe you can just tell us, what is your favorite time pass activity that you do?
My favorite time pass is I love food. I like to eat. And I love to play badminton. So whenever I get time, I either try to find a place where I can play or a place where I can eat. So eating is very, very important. So the moment my energy level starts dropping, I'll go and look for food. Right? So anybody offers me good food, I'm your best friend. Yeah.
You're already
That is what
offered,
I
okay?
do. Yes.
Yes, you're already offered, okay? So now, simple thing. So what makes you happy, Gireesh?
One day program again. So, I don't like conditions. Everybody doesn't like conditions, but there are different types of conditions that I don't like. Right? That which is what I put in the topmost priorities. Right? I don't like deadlines. That is why I don't work for anybody. I'm my own boss. Right? When I don't want to work, I don't work. When I want to work, I work. I had really bad times where I was offered some amazing jobs by companies for whom I had done seminars. I said, no,
Okay.
I am not taking up a job because money, I could make some money, but not at the cost of my happiness,
Correct. Right.
right? See,
Right.
I don't compromise with happiness. I'll compromise with money, no problem. Because money does not get you happiness, because once your happiness is reduced, there are a lot of things that happen within the body,
Body.
right?
Correct.
So I like my freedom. I love to party. I am a party animal. Okay. But yeah, that part of my life is now a little bit not so happening. But when I was in Mumbai, uh, I mean, anybody calls me at night 1 o'clock and says party, I'm like, coming. Right? I love people. I can go and talk to anybody. So I just love life. So people are very important for me. My food is very important for me, and my workouts are very important for me. So that's a few of the dimensions of my happiness. Yeah,
Okay.
that's
So if
that's a
you're
that's a huge list. I can't share the entire list with you now, right?
that's
Online.
fine. We will club all one-day programs into one-day program. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So what kind of holiday vacations do you like?
Beaches. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So you have to come to
Yes.
Chennai. You have to come to Chennai then. Okay.
Oh, maybe Mahabalipuram. You're at the beach on Chennai is
Okay. Okay.
good.
So maybe one last question. Okay. Is there
Sure.
something that you want to tell? Is there some secret which you haven't shared with anybody? That's why it's called a secret probably. You know, that you just like to tell here as a part of fun, because this entire friends who are going to watch this, right, are all fun loving people.
Have fun in life. That's a secret. When you want to do it, just do it. That you only live in a moment, right?
Right.
That is a reality. Okay.
Yeah.
In fact, I had a debate. I should tell you this before I finish. I had a debate with a CEO of a Fortune 500 company around a year back.
Okay.
I mean, 2 or 3 months before the COVID situation happened.
Okay.
So I had gone to Bombay for a party, and he was there. I didn't know him, and he said, you have to plan if you want to be happy. I said, you don't have to plan to be happy, right?
Yeah.
You have to achieve your objectives. I said, achieving objectives will never make you happy. Now this fellow I was like, whatever you are saying, and we are all there, like 6, 7 of us, right? And all of us are having a drink, and what he's trying to just actually show off, because I mean,
Fortune
he's a
500
fortune.
CEO.
I mean,
Okay.
he's a very
Yeah.
big guy, right? And I don't care it,
Yeah. Correct.
whatever,
Yeah.
right? I mean, if you're telling the fact, I will listen to you. If you're
Right.
not telling the truth, why should I
You need not.
just nod my head because he is whoever he is, right?
Right. Right.
So we had a huge argument. He said planning is very important, right? Then COVID happened. Right? he had told me he had made 5 years plans and stuff like that. I said, very good. So I called him in the month of April just to say hello. Hi, how are you doing? You know what? I was thinking when I come to Bombay, I should be taking some tips on planning from you. I didn't tell tell him what happened to your planning and all that. He said, yeah. When you come to Bombay, I will give you some tips on planning. He understood what I was trying to tell him, right? So the worldwide management gurus,
Yeah.
top CEOs, right, planned. They planned a lot of things.
Right.
What happened to all the planning?
Perfectly right.
All the planning gone down the drain. Not one person. Millions of people's plans gone down the drain. What
Correct.
really exists is the moment. You want to dance, now dance. You want to have a drink, now drink. Okay, I'm talking about coffee. Okay, don't have any other thoughts in your mind.
I was just going to say, I'm not going to say this to my husband. Okay.
Yes. That is the problem. You don't want to have your husband husband to be happy. What to do? Huh? Right? Live the moment. You don't even know if you exist in the next moment. Right?
Very true. Very true.
So
Very true.
if you're happy now, right? There are a lot of other things that can happen which are happier. But what we do in our life is we say, I will not be happy now
Now, right?
because I can be happy tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes.
Which never exists. Yeah.
So that's what everybody does. It is not that I do it every day, but I try my best. If I feel like doing something, I do it majority of the times. But because you're in a group, in an environment, right? You can't just do what you feel like, right? You might feel like going and hugging somebody in the party, but that person doesn't want to be hugged. You'll have a problem. So please don't. I mean, there's a guy who did this. He said, Gireesh, you said do whatever you feel like. I did it. I got a slap. I said, no, no. Right? You also have to understand the environment. Right? Otherwise, you will have a challenge. Yeah. But as far as possible, go ask the person. You know what? I feel like giving you a hug. Can I? Right? And people do.
Accept.
They're pretty excited about it, right? Because you are making somebody happy. But what we do, two things. One, we either go and give a hug without taking permission, or we don't do it at all.
Don't bother. Correct.
We say, oh, what will that person feel? What will the person think? How can I do it? You have a feeling, just do it.
Correct.
Maximum the person will say, no, you cannot hug me. At least you tried. Majority of the people fail without trying.
So at least you
I'm not
feel
talking
the
about only the
happiness
hug.
of trying.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that is a different happiness altogether as well, right? But people don't do it. And that's where frustration increases. So I tell people, whatever your thoughts are, try to do it at least 70%. No? 100% not possible, right?
Correct.
But
Correct.
people don't do that. Majority of people don't do the happy things at all. Actually, my research says they do the unhappy things. Yeah. So I have one closing statement to make for the benefit. It's not a secret, but I think this can help people.
Yeah.
What is darkness? Shubha, let me ask you the question. What is darkness? Absence of light.
Yeah, when I can't see anything around me.
There's absence of light. Correct? You switch on the light, darkness is gone. Is it gone? No, it is not gone. Darkness is there. But you have brought in light. Correct? If you switch off the button, will it be dark again? Yes.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
What is stress? Absence of happiness. You cannot remove stress. People run workshops on stress management.
Stress removal.
Stress is always there. Everybody in this world has stress. Mr. Modi has his own stress. Mr. Bill Gates has his own stress. We have our own stress.
Correct.
Stress is always there. If you bring in happiness, you will not feel the stress. Just like when you bring in light, you will not see the darkness. You bring in happiness, the stress will disappear by itself. But people try to remove stress. Stress cannot be removed. That is the secret.
Agree. And I'm sure, all of us, all friends of Abundance family will adopt this actually, Gireesh. So,
please do that. Please. I'll be very happy. So when Purnima told me, can you give a talk, right? I said, I love to because I want people to understand the reality, the truth, which is not written in majority of the places.
Correct.
And people live a life with expectation that they will never achieve. And then they get stressed. And they work on removing the stress. They don't work on bringing in happiness. So, yeah, that's how it is. Brilliant, Shubha.
Thank you so much, Gireesh. Actually, I'm very happy at this moment, okay?
Superb.
It's so nice that, Purnima had introduced you to the group. And next thing, I'm going to really ask Purnima to work on a one-day workshop. And of course, it's whoever wants, right? It's a voluntary workshop. So whoever wants to join, please come.
Mahabalipuram by the beach.
And then you'll have a good crowd. Definitely. Hey, Purnima, add this to the list, okay?
Yeah.
Mahabalipuram by the beach.
That's a good place. Yeah. Even I'm a beach person. Like, I love beaches. I mean, water area, and I've seen wherever I've stayed so far, there is water near my house. Even in Mysore, there was a big lake near our house like that. So thank you so much, Gireesh. I wanted to tell you one thing about Gireesh. He introduced me to myself when I met him for the first time, which was so many facts about me, which I had forgotten or what.
Forgotten.
Usually that's what happens, right? As he said, version 0 or version 1, we tend to change ourselves to different things. Somewhere or the other, we lose our identity, our true identity.
Correct.
He knows like what I like, what kind of a person I am. Just in one meeting, he said, you are supposed to sit in a bright room, like, you need light, you like nature, you have to go out. So he gave me a homework, which I'm yet to complete it, but I've started doing it. 1 minute. So I've started doing it. Every day he said, you have to go for a walk. You have to be in the nature, with the nature, like you have to enjoy the nature, which I really love doing it. Today also morning, when I went for a walk, I was seeing it's a different feeling altogether. Seeing the trees, seeing the lake, the birds, everything, beautiful feeling. So thank you for that. And one more thing, I love dance. I learned Bharatanatyam, and I used to dance, and all folk dance, everything, classic. I love dance and the beats, music. And he said, you know what? You have to dance every day for yourself, for your happiness, at least 10 minutes.
Nice.
10 minutes in the morning. Don't care about who is there. Your house, no. You do whatever you want. I said, yeah, correct. And I started doing that. And I felt so nice, I don't bother. So sometimes my cook or maid, they'll be watching, what is she doing? I mean, if my daughter is dancing because she is doing, because it's a part of her studies. Sometimes I will also, because working from home, I'll also take a break. I'll also do 2-3 steps along with her. So it brings you, I mean, really very refreshing.
Brings probably your version 0 outside.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's probably bringing your version 0.
Yeah, your true version, like as you said yesterday, you saw my sister dancing and all this. She's like very she was we were dancing along with Asha. He knows Asha. So she was telling, your sister is very innocent. It's not that she's innocent, that innocence comes out, like your true self will come out when you are that version 0. Otherwise, we are all in this adulthood, we are faking ourselves, like, we are trying to please others. We are always trying to make others happy instead of trying to be ourselves happy. We should first we should be happy in order to make others happy. Correct?
True.
So, thank you so much, Gireesh. And let's work towards that one-day workshop. I'm also interested, like I'm sure many of us in the group will be interested. If you can share the details with us later, we will put it in the group and we will work towards a one-day workshop. So, yeah.
Thank you for
towards the beach, maybe Chennai Mahabalipuram beach or Goa beach. We have plans to go to Goa also. 2021. Yes.
I'm okay. Both the places.
Yeah. So we'll do that. Definitely we'll do that. And anything else you want to say, ask Shubham? Okay, so what we will do is, Gireesh, as I said earlier, we will take we'll go log into Google and Google meeting link and meet our family there.
Super duper, fantastic.
I
So,
just wanted
when
to
you
tell you one more thing. Sorry. If there are very few people attending, no, so please don't feel bad, like who are on the call, because this is a group where I want to be totally non-judgmental. Like, I don't want to force people to join. There's no rule set and all this stuff. So that is why I don't want to force people to come and log in. If they really want to help themselves, then let them join, right? So I'm not going to force anybody. I'm doing my level best. So people will join. It's not that if you notice in our group, there are about 45 people, and it's not that all 45 are not active. Many are not at all active, but still they don't want to leave the group also. Like, they could have easily left, right? Why to take another group of so many messages? Because they want to be a silent spectator. They get somewhere or the other, they get to see some positive vibes, positive energy. And nowadays we are posting even jokes and all, and people are opening up. People are coming out with their jokes, and that hint also, I was telling Shubha, Gireesh says, we have named the group as Abundance Family, but we should bring happiness to our group. So what is wrong in posting a joke? I said, okay, true. So I discussed with Subha, and then we came out with this decision of, I know it's every time putting only meditation or related positive thoughts too much sometimes to take it. So this is now, this has helped us, many people, to be active in the group again after we started doing this. So thank you for that suggestion. Thank you so much, Gireesh. So let's
welcome. I'm so happy. I'm so happy you implemented it.
Yes. I was telling Shubha, in fact, when Gireesh posted a joke video on some funny joke video, I pinged him separately. I said, no, you're not supposed to put all these things. Now everybody is putting left, right, center. He must be thinking, when I told him.
Yeah, I was going to call you. Hey, isn't this a forward? No forwards allowed.
She told me all this, Gireesh, Only then we decided, okay, let's have some fun also in the team. Just not, some forwards and happiness quotes, right? It's not fun, Hamachi. I thought it's very boring, yeah. Very boring, right?
Absolutely.
See, Gireesh knows, as I told, Gireesh knows my version 0. Okay, I'm also like him. I'm a kinesthetic person. I love to party and love to meet people. I like, in fact, hugging people, like being more physical and show my love, towards people. So he knows that I'm that kind of a person. Imagine how difficult I would be facing in order to ping separately that person. I'll be thinking, by saying this, I'll be hurting them. And many times I've got sarcastic comments from people, they will come out with one namaskar, like, good. Yes, I don't want you and your group, but I'm not actually that. I have to, that's a big task. Okay, anyways, now group is enjoying, so I'm happy with that.
Fantastic.
Yeah. See, we cannot please everybody, as you said, as you rightly said, we cannot make everyone happy. First, we need to think about ourselves. We need to be happy. There will be always some bakra somewhere, like, somebody who will pass some comments or who will, try to put you down. So that is always there in every group.
Super duper. So have fun, ladies.
Yes. Thank
you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Subha. Have fun. Enjoy yourself.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.